his educational program has been revealed. So did you read about that?
No, I didn't.
I think we talked
I
about
think it's
it.
so horrific. I think some of this stuff I don't even know why I would bother. But
Okay.
go ahead. I mean, if it's back to that the foundation of it, let me say this is, that he wants to teach black people that they're happy that they're slaves.
Yeah. So I'm reading.
You can't make this up, man.
I'm reading an article from CNN. Florida Board of Education approves new Black history standards that critics call a big step backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's a curriculum approved basically to wash our history and erase our history. Basically, I can sit up here and talk for 30 minutes, but that's basically what it is. And then a viral clip that's been out was people asking him what he meant when he said, well, people learn like skills or trades in slavery, and that's how it needs to be taught.
No, we didn't, man. We already had skills in trade when we came over here. That's well documented. Sorry.
No, your interjection was warranted, but that was like I said, there's a longer version. There's more context. You can clearly find it. All you got to do is Google it. But I just want to know to what lengths will this shit keep continuing.
I want to know who's backing him.
That's do too.
I want to know. I want to know
corporations. I hope it's not Walmart, but whatever corporations, we need to figure it out. I
never stepping foot in there again. I want to know who's backing that.
This is beyond dangerous. Let me tell you why it's dangerous. We already have a small segment within our society that be saying dumb ish regarding our history. Like I had to respond to something on TikTok when somebody was like, "Oh, well, if you look at slavery from the historical context," and I like threw a basketball at the camera, like there is no positive way to spin it. It was all bad all the way around. And let me say this, even for the black slave owners, because that shall go to when we had this conversation. Well, there were black slave owners in the Louisiana area in the South. Trust me, I'm very well read. I can pull out books and go toe to toe on that conversation. But no matter how you spin it, it was bad all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
After slavery, the Reconstruction era, after that, peonage, after that, Jim Crow for 120 years, there was no positive way to spin that at all. And like you said, before we were captured and taken over here as prisoners of wars, in very different tribes, they already had a set skill. Like there's books out there that said they were taking certain ethnic groups from Senegal because they were good in planting rice. Like that's well documented.
Right.
Meaning they already had trades and skill sets.
Right.
So you're going to now explain it in schools because you don't want to offend nobody that they learn trade skills is dangerous, because now my grandkid is going to have to be taught X, Y, and Z, because if I don't, then he's going to come home saying, Grandpa's crazy. What is he talking about? Like, we over here learn trade skills. What Uncle A's crazy. Like, what are these guys talking about?
Yeah.
Are you guys sure? You guys been smoking that? That's what I think about, because the first line of education is home, but we know sometimes a lot of us, let's call it what it is, we might be busy with our jobs. A lot of us can't homeschool. So when you send your kids to school, you don't want them to get that level of indoctrination. Let me say this. When have people of Jewish descent been sent to school, maybe they have, and had to worry about a curriculum to their history being washed and force-fed back to their
saying
kids?
That the Holocaust was beneficial to them. They would never let
it slide in a million years.
Yeah.
Books will come off the shelf. People will be defunded, and superintendents will be canceled if that ever happened.
Right.
And I'm not using that as a way to throw a whole trope, but I'm using it to say, for a group of people, such as our Jewish brothers and sisters who went through a horrific event, when would they had they had to, in 2023, hear a freaking person running for president saying, this is how we're gonna educate America on the Holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that should have been sick. Like, I'm not bringing this up for a viral moment to get the views. I'm talking strictly history as it pertains to us as a group of undercasted people in this culture.
Mm-hmm.
When is enough enough? Mm-hmm. Like, I saw that and I'm like, oh, he's really running for president. People were just sitting up here like, oh, no big deal. Like as you said, the fuss ain't loud enough.
Yeah.
You really passed the curriculum and guarantee you.
So it went through.
According to this, it said the Department of Education approved a new set of standards of how Black history should be taught in public schools.
The Florida Department of Education.
Not one school, the Department of Education for the state of Florida.
We need to, you know what? When we
I got family from there.
When we get off of here, I need to research who's on that board. I'm gonna put their ass up out there so they need to be shown.
Like, I don't think people understand, and this goes back to our podcast from a couple of weeks ago. People, I don't want to get involved in politics. Oh, who cares? Elections matter.
They do.
This dude is running for president, is trying to pass laws in Florida, and you got to realize once it's passed in Florida, it's going to be I forgot the terminology. Yeah. Like, it's going to be a standard basically of what other states can say. Well, they passed it in Florida. Well, let's do it in Texas now. Mm-hmm. And in less than 20 years, that will be a problem for us. Right. Because then we already have people already telling us, what are y'all complaining about slavery? Once they pass that in school, they be looking at us like we're crazy. Yeah. You want to bring that up? You fired from your job. Yeah. So I think people from our communities better start getting politically aware of what's going on and how it's going to not just affect you, but affect your children and future generations. Mm-hmm. But that's my thought on that. You got anything you want to add?
It's just, he's a sick. I'm being nice. He's a sick, despicable person, and I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you. It needs to be exposed. Like,
Well, it is. He said it out in the open. Like, they questioned him because somebody was like, "Nah, he didn't say that." So you saw the reporter say, "What did you mean by that?" Yeah. And he repeated himself. Well, I think there's a better way to teach this topic.
You notice there's no people of color on his staff? I don't think there's any people. And not that I'm shocked about it, but like, how are you even? Because it's what they sell. But if you ain't got a person of color on your staff, hell, even Donald Trump had Omarosa on his staff. I mean, he wasn't that stupid. So he wasn't that arrogant.
Let me push back on that.
So DeSantis,
let me push back on that just a tad. I get what you're saying. You're 100% correct. But I'm less with the representation and what laws are you passing? Because let's say he had 5 people of color on the staff, but then it's still pushing this BS source.
Right.
So I get what you're saying, but that's my minor pushback.
The fact that he's even well, I don't know if you noticed, he went down in polls. It went bad for him.
Let me say this, and not to interject and cut you off. That shit sounds so good, but until he's out, until somebody defeats him, we cannot go to sleep.
No,
because
I agree.
We did that shit with Trump. Oh, he's never gonna win. Look at how he's polling.
Look how he was talking. That's what it was.
Look at how he's talking and look at how he's polling, and then we saw what happened. So, to people who are engaged in politics, don't fall asleep by polling numbers. Yeah. Locally, get your ass out there this election cycle and exercise your right to vote.
And don't let them threaten you.
I don't care who you vote for. Let me rephrase it. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for on our platform, but just exercise your right to vote and don't fall asleep by that if you care about your community and what needs to happen.
Yeah. Facts. I agree.
So that's our segment on politics, domestic and foreign.
Right.
Shout out to Alabama.
I know, right?
So let's transition to another